Okay, we go down under now to Australia because the country's upper house of parliament has cleared the decks for holding a landmark referendum later on this year. Now, this referendum, it holds the potential to create history by granting recognition to the country's indigenous population in the constitution. So the legislation, it's known as Constitutional Alteration, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Voice 2023. It's been passed by the Senate with a vote of 52 to 19. This legislation will now enable Canberra to hold a referendum, which will determine if the Indigenous people of the country will find a place in the Constitution or not. The vote is certain to play a pivotal role in national politics, as it will determine what it means to be an Australian and influence the often troubled relationship between the Indigenous minorities and the white majority. While the vote was being held in the Parliament, a Labour senator described the importance of holding the referendum.
And the importance of being able to go to a referendum and say yes for our country, yes for a better future, yes for First Nations people to be able to make decisions in terms of advising the Parliament and the Executive as to decisions made about them, so they can have input into that. It is a very simple request, President, to be recognised in the Australian Constitution.
Meanwhile, opposition MPs expressed dissent towards the legislation.
We are being divided. We will be further divided throughout this campaign. And if the yes vote is successful, we will be divided forever. I want to see Australia move forward as one, not two divided. That's why I will be voting no.
Well, if the referendum does find majority support, then the Indigenous community would get a constitutionally enshrined right to be consulted by the government on the laws which affect them. The community, known as the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders, has been living on the continent for at least 60,000 years. It will also necessitate formation of a community dubbed as Voice to the Parliament. This board will advise the government on matters related to this community. Recognising this Indigenous community is believed to be as important as it suffers from poor health, lower levels of education and higher rates of imprisonment. Opinion polls show that support for its recognition is dangling. Well, this referendum will be the first time in the country since 1999, and Prime Minister Anthony Albanese will soon release a date for its execution.